How could a demon, a formidable antagonist like Ravana, compose one of Hinduism's most revered hymns of devotion, the Shiva Tandava Stotram? It is a paradox that defies logic, yet holds a profound spiritual truth. This is the story of how immense devotion, vast knowledge, and raw, unyielding ego intertwine to give birth to a spiritual masterpiece from the most unexpected source. In the great epic Ramayana, Ravana is remembered as the tyrannical king of Lanka, a figure synonymous with arrogance, power, and destruction. He is the 10-headed demon king who defeated gods, terrorized worlds, and ultimately stood against Lord Rama himself. And yet, beneath this fearsome exterior existed something far more complex. Ravana was not merely a villain driven by blind ambition. He was a scholar, a devotee, and a being of immense spiritual capability. This duality is what makes his devotion so unsettling and so fascinating. Ravana was a master of the Vedas, deeply learned in astrology, music, and sacred rituals. His intellect was unmatched, his discipline legendary. But alongside this vast knowledge burned an ego as colossal as his power. Ravana believed himself capable of bending even the gods to his will. And it was this dangerous combination of brilliance and pride that led him to Mount Kailasa, the eternal abode of Lord Shiva. Driven by arrogance and a desire to prove his supremacy, Ravana attempted the impossible. He sought to lift Mount Kailasa itself, believing that no force in the universe could resist him. But Shiva, the great ascetic, unmoved by displays of brute strength, responded not with words, but with divine authority. With a mere press of his toe, Shiva pinned the mountain down, trapping Ravana beneath its immeasurable weight. In that moment, Ravana's pride shattered. The king who had never known defeat felt fear, pain, and helplessness in their purest form. Yet something extraordinary happened in that darkness. Instead of cursing Shiva, Ravana surrendered. From the depths of his despair, he began to sing. What emerged was not a plea for mercy born of weakness, but an offering born of total devotion. Thus was composed the Shiva Tandava Stotram, a hymn of astonishing intensity, rhythm, and reverence. Each verse praised Shiva not as a destroyer to be feared, but as the cosmic dancer, the lord of balance, creation, and dissolution. Ravana poured his knowledge, his devotion, and even his ego into the hymn, transforming his suffering into worship. Moved by this act of absolute surrender, Shiva forgave Ravana. The mountain was lifted, and Ravana was granted divine favor. But more importantly, a hymn was born that would transcend its creator. The Shiva Tandava Stotram became a living expression of devotion, echoing through centuries, chanted by sages, devotees, and seekers across the world. What makes this hymn so powerful is not merely its poetic beauty, but the paradox it embodies. Ravana's immense ego did not disappear, it was transformed. His knowledge did not serve domination, it served devotion. And his dark nature did not prevent spiritual expression, it became the very fuel for it. This rare convergence of ego, knowledge, and devotion is what gives the Stotram its raw, electrifying energy. Even today, the Shiva Tandava Stotram is chanted for strength, clarity, and spiritual awakening. Its verses vibrate with intensity, mirroring the cosmic dance of Shiva himself. It reminds us that devotion is not always gentle or pure in appearance. Sometimes, it is fierce, imperfect, and born from inner conflict. Ravana's story forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Spirituality is not reserved for the morally perfect. The path to the divine is complex, and devotion can arise from the most unexpected places. Ravana was neither redeemed nor absolved of his actions, but his devotion was real. And in that reality lies the enduring power of the Shiva Tandava Stotram. Beyond good and evil, Ravana's legacy teaches us that the human condition itself is a paradox. We are capable of darkness and light, arrogance and surrender, destruction and devotion. Ancient wisdom does not simplify these contradictions, it embraces them. And so, the Shiva Tandava Stotram stands not only as a hymn to Lord Shiva, but as a mirror to humanity itself. It reminds us that devotion does not always emerge from purity or perfection, but often from struggle, contradiction, and inner turmoil. In the depths of ego and suffering, where fear and pride collide, something transformative can still be born. Ravana's offering teaches us that surrender is not the absence of strength, but its highest expression. The story invites us to look beyond simplistic labels of good and evil, saint and sinner. It asks us to recognize that the spiritual journey is rarely linear. Like Ravana, we carry conflicting forces within us, ambition and humility, darkness and light. And yet, when awareness meets surrender, even these contradictions can become pathways to the divine. The Shiva Tandava Stotram endures because it speaks to this timeless truth. Its rhythm echoes the cosmic dance of Shiva, creation and destruction, chaos and order, collapse and renewal. Each chant becomes a reminder that transformation is always possible, even when it seems least deserved. Mountains may not move before us, but inner worlds can shift, fears can dissolve, and consciousness can expand. This ancient hymn survives not because of who Ravana was, but because of what the Stotram represents, the power of devotion to transcend identity, history, and judgment. It is a call to embrace the full complexity of the human experience, and to recognize that the divine listens not to appearances, but to sincerity. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on its message. And if you found value in this exploration of ancient wisdom and spiritual paradox, consider supporting this journey. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that uncover the hidden depths of mythology, devotion, and consciousness. Share this video with others who may find meaning in Ravana's paradox and the eternal dance of Shiva. By sharing these stories, you help keep this wisdom alive, allowing it to continue echoing through time, touching minds, hearts, and souls across the world.